Okay, so for this section, we're going to talk about division of polynomials. Okay, so um, first, let's look at this problem here. If I have, say, a to the fifth plus a to the third divided by a square, what do I do? Well, one thing I can do is I can divide, because there's only one single term, okay, that's being divided. So I can divide each one to the specific term on top. So what do I mean by that? So I can do a square, divide that into here, and then divide that also into here. So I can break this down to a to the fifth divided by a square. Now I can only do that because I only have one term in the denominator. So same thing for this here. I can rewrite this as a cubed over a square. Now, if it was the other way around, so like say a square over a to the fifth plus a to the third, I can't do that, right? That's not possible. I can't just break these guys up and do it that way. Okay, that's a no-no. Okay, that is not mathematically correct. But if there's one term in there, I can just divide each of the terms from the top in this fashion. Okay, so remember we just learned that if we're dividing, what happens with the powers? We subtract them. So this will be a to the fifth minus 2 plus a to the third minus 2. So we get a to the third, okay, plus a. Okay, and then that will be our answer. Again, don't try to combine this, right? You can't add them because there's an addition in the middle. So if it was a to the third times a to the first, yes, I can just add them. If there's addition or subtraction in the middle, this does not apply. Okay. So this is a good strategy. Again, if we have this polynomial and we only have one term in the denominator, we can just divide each of the polynomial separately. Okay, so let's talk about long division. So to re-jog your memory, so let's say we have, let me use a different color here. Let's say we have 24 divided by 2. Okay. Now I can rewrite this, okay, in this format. Okay. So the 2 number is on the outside and 24 is inside. So this is the division symbol. And I can divide this, right? So what can I multiply to 2 that will give me 2 here? Well, 1, because 1 times 2 is 2. So I can put the 2 down here. Okay. And then I can just subtract. So 2 minus 2 is 0. And then bring the 4 down. Okay. And then what can I multiply the 2? Give me 4. Well, that's just 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And I can just subtract. Right. So then I have a remainder of 0. Okay. Sometimes we might see it as like 0 over 2, but again, 0 divided by any number besides 0 is going to give us 0. Okay. All right. So this is normally what we do in division, correct? So we're going to follow the same procedure in a polynomial. So let's say we want to divide 4x squared minus 4x1 plus 1. Okay, and we're going to divide that into 2x minus 1. Now, if I only had one term, then I can just divide each of the terms from the top to that one term, and I'll be done, call it a day. But unfortunately, we don't have that. We have a binomial, so we have two terms. So what do? Well, we're going to apply long division. So I'm going to have my 2x minus 1 and then divided by 4x squared minus 4x to the 1 power plus 1. Pause this for a second. Okay, so what we want to do, so we have 4x squared minus 4x to the 1 plus 1 divided by 2x minus 1. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite it from this format to this format as we did as before doing long division. So again, the question is, what can I multiply to 2x that will give me 4x squared? All right, so we would multiply it by 2x. All right, so we will put 2x over here. So we're going to multiply this 2x by the 2x minus 1. Okay, and then we're going to distribute. All right, so 2x times 2x is going to give me 4x squared. And then 2x minus 1 is going to give me minus 2x. Then we subtract. All right, so when we subtract, we get 4x squared minus 4x squared will give me 0. And then minus 4x, and this is going to be two negatives is a positive. So negative 4x plus 2x is going to give me a negative 2x. And then I bring down the 1, which is a plus 1. Okay? All right. Then I do it again. All right. So what can I multiply 2x to give me negative 2x? What can I multiply to 2x to give me negative 2x? Negative 1. So negative 1 times 2x minus 1. So I put minus 1 here. Then I distribute or multiply. So negative 1 times 2x is going to give me a negative 2x. And the negative 1 times negative 1 is going to give me a positive 1. So remember, we subtract. Okay? So negative 2x, and then these two negatives is going to give me a positive. So negative 2x plus 2x is 0. And then 1 minus 1 is also going to give me 0. So I have a remainder of 0. So the answer to this is 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 divided by 2x minus 1 is going to be 2x minus 1. And that's our answer here. Okay, so this one we have 2x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3x minus 1 divided by 2x plus 1. Again, if it was a single term, then I can divide each one by the single term in the denominator. But however, we have two terms in the denominator, we cannot do that. Okay, so we're going to do long division here. So I have 2x plus 1 as my outside term, and inside here, I'm going to have 2x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3x minus 1. Okay. All right, so again, what we want to do is we want to multiply a number. Okay, what can we multiply to 2x? Because we want to match it with the 2x cube. Okay, we want to match it because we want to get rid of that. All right, so what can we multiply to 2x to give us 2x cubed? Close. X squared, yep. Okay, so we multiply x squared to x plus 1. Okay, because again, we want, what can we multiply 2x to give me 2x cubed? All right, if we just multiply by x, that's going to give us 2x squared. So we want a cube. So x squared times 2x. All right, so that's going to give us a 2x cube. And then multiply x squared times 1. That's going to give me plus x squared. Okay, then I subtract. So I subtract the whole thing. All right, so when I do that, 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is going to give me 0. 3x squared minus x squared is going to give me a positive 2x squared. Okay, and then I'm going to drop the 3x down and I get plus 3x. Then I go through it again. Okay, so again, what can I multiply to 2x to give me, in this case now, a 2x squared? What can I multiply to 2x? Sorry, to 2x to give me 2x squared. Yes. Okay, an x. A regular x, yep. All right, so multiply by x. So then I distribute. So x times 2x is going to give me 2x squared, and x times 1 of this give me a x, and then I subtract. So 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. 3x minus x is going to give me a positive 2x. Okay, and then I got one more here, bring that down, minus 1. Okay, then I need to do it one more time. So this case, what can I multiply to 2x to give me 2x? 1. Okay, just 1. All right, so I'm going to multiply this by 1, and distribute. So that's going to give me 2x, okay, plus 1, because it's just being multiplied by 1. Then I subtract. So don't forget, I added, we had an x squared, then we multiplied by an x, and then we had a positive 1. Okay, so then I subtract. So I get what? 0, 2x minus 2x, 0, and negative 1 minus 1 is going to give me a negative 2. So we will have a remainder of 2, and we would write our answer as x squared plus x plus 1. It'll be then a minus 2 over 2x plus 1. Okay, so again, the goal is to match the first term. Okay, so what can we multiply to each one, to the first term? Okay, so again, I have 5x plus 2. What can I multiply to 5x to give me 10x cubed? Okay, so that's going to be 2x squared, right? Okay, so I'm going to put 2x squared here. So then I multiply this. So 2x squared times 5x is going to give me 10x to the third power. Then 2x squared times 2 is going to give me plus 4x to the second power. Then I subtract the whole thing. So 10x cubed minus 10x cubed is 0. Minus x squared, and then I have a negative. A minus 4x squared is going to give me a minus 5x squared. Then I bring down the negative 17x. Okay? Now this is what I'm working on now. So then I do the same thing. I have to multiply. What can I multiply to 5x to give me negative 5x squared? Close. Be a negative, because I have 5x squared, right? So I need a negative x, right? I need a negative x. So negative x times 5x is going to give me a negative 5x squared, right? So again, I'm just multiplying each one. Negative times 2 is going to give me a negative 2x. Then I subtract the whole thing. So negative 5x squared, then again, negative negative is a positive. So that will give me a positive 5x squared. So negative 5x squared plus a 5x squared is going to give us 0. Negative 17x, again, negative negative is a positive. That'll be a positive 2x, right? Will give us a negative 15x, okay? Right? And then I just bring down my last number, the minus 7, right? Then I do it one more time. So 5x plus 2, okay? And then now, what can I multiply to 5x to give me negative 15x? What can I multiply to 5x to give me negative 15x? Good. Okay, negative 3. So negative 3. So negative 3 times 5x is going to give me a negative 15x. And negative 3 times 2 is going to give me a minus 6. Then I subtract. Okay? So again, two negatives gives me a positive. So the negative 15x plus 15x is 0. Negative 7 plus 6 is going to give me a negative 1. Okay? So our final answer here is, oh, don't forget to write down what you multiply by. So that will be negative x and then a minus 3. So our final answer is going to be 2x squared minus x minus 3. And then we can put the positive here, or we can just have it a negative. It doesn't matter, but we only write the negative one time. So minus 1 over 5x plus 2. Okay, so I'm going to show you a technique called synthetic division. Okay, it's an alternative to long division. However, it only works when you're dividing by the term with the power of 1 and the coefficient, there's no coefficient except 1. Okay? So it's synthetic division. So for example, if it was like, say, x plus 1, you're dividing by, that works. If it was like x plus 5, you're dividing by, that works. If it was x minus 3, you're dividing by, that works. If it was x minus 7, you're dividing by, that works. However, if it was like 2x plus 1, you can't use it. If it's 3x minus 1, you can't use it. If it's 4x minus 7, you can't use it, okay? Or if it's 5x to the third plus 1, you can't use it, okay? So it only can be in this format, okay? All the other ones won't work, right? So for example, I want to divide this 4x squared um, minus x plus 3 divided by x plus 2, okay? I want to use synthetic division, right? So what I can do is I can set the denominator equal to 0, okay? And that gives me negative 2. So I'm going to test whether this is divisible by x plus 2, okay? So let's go through it. So what I do here is I need to write down the coefficients of each term. So 4, negative 1, and 3. Okay. And then I'm going to be divided by x plus 2. So I have to write the opposite of that, which is minus 2 here. Okay. Multiply this. So negative 2 times 4 is going to give me a negative 8. Then I'm going to add them. Negative 1 plus negative 8 is negative 9. Negative 2 times negative 9 is going to give me negative 18. Okay? Sorry, not negative 18. It's positive 18. Then I'm going to add those. So 3 plus 18 is going to give me 21. So my remainder is 21. Okay? since I divided by an x term when the highest power is 2, this is going to reduce. Okay? So in this case, my answer is going to be 4x minus 9, and I have a remainder of 21, and then over x plus 2. Okay? So the answer to this is going to be this here. All right? Let me do another example. So let's say I wanted this one, x cubed plus x squared minus 2x plus 12 divided by x plus 3. Okay? So I'm going to use synthetic division. Again, I can do long division. That's totally acceptable. But since I meet one of these conditions here, or this condition here, I can just do long division. I mean, synthetic division. So what do? I write the coefficients of each of these terms, okay, in this format. So I have 1, 1, -2, and then 12, right? Those are the coefficients of these terms, okay? And then I need to write down basically here, what I write here is the root or the factor here. If the output, is 0, that tells me that -3, okay, is going to be a root of this polynomial. All right. But anyway, I'm showing you long division, synthetic division, how it works. So anyway, so I set this equal to 0, and I find out that I need to divide by -3. So I'll put a -3 there. Okay. So x plus 3 equals 0. Okay. Anyway, so I bring down the 1. That's the first thing, and then I multiply. -3 times 1 is going to be -3. Then I add again. 1 plus -3 is -2. -3 times -2 is a +6. Then I add again. That gives me 4. And -3 times 4 is -12. Then I add again. So 12 plus -12 is giving me 0. All right. So I was saying earlier, what does that mean? That means that -3 is the root of this thing, of this polynomial, or x plus 3 is a factor of this, right? Because it divides out evenly. Okay. So the answer to this problem is going to be, since I divided by an x term, right? The power of 1, it's going to reduce this whole polynomial by one power. So anyway, this becomes x squared minus 2x plus 4. Okay? And I don't have a remainder because my remainder is 0, and then that will be my answer here.